If the richest people in the world can live without consequences, what does this mean for the rest of us who very much have to live inside of those consequences? I think this really explains financial nihilism better than anything else. And I'm a huge fan of this article in The Atlantic, and I want to talk about it. So in this article, the author went to Bezos's private retreat and was up close and personal with lots and lots of billionaires and really documented like what life was like for them and like how they clearly perceived the world around them. And basically like ruminated on, what happens when everything is effectively free? What happens when no loss to you is really that consequential? And he quotes Trump in this article, who was asked very recently if there was any check on his power. And Trump's answer literally was like, yeah, my own morality. That was the only check he saw on his power. And so this article really explores like what happens to your brain and how you think about things and your reality when you live in this type of condition. And, a lot of our moral reasoning, like how our morals are built, is built through consequences. Having your actions affect somebody else, getting feedback from somebody else, when your reality isn't what you wanted it to be, right? But when you can buy your way out of any mistake, when you could get rid of somebody who disagrees with you, when your social circle only exists of people who, need something from you, the basic mechanism by which you learn moral consequences essentially goes away. Meanwhile, for people who are not in that financial situation, we very much are consistently faced with consequences, some of which are completely out of our control. Like we are operating kind of in this little box of a cause and effect, while people who have enormous power of the economy is steering this thing that we have no control over. And I think this is a huge engine of the current financial nihilism that a lot of young people face. Like it's not necessarily that we're all lazy or short-sighted or addicted to instant gratification. I think a lot of it is because we are watching in real time very, very rich people at the top of the system play by this different rule book and play by a different reality. Like they see reality completely differently than you and I. And so it's really difficult, honestly, to want to think about the future or plan for the future when it feels like at a whim's notice, it could all be taken away from you at no fault of your own. And I think that also explains like our current casino economy, where people are like, well, what's the point of doing anything? I might as well just try to like get rich quick. And so that's how you get like prediction markets and, day trading and crypto. Like all of that is built around this idea of nihilism that a lot of people feel. And as somebody who talks a lot about money and is a financial planner, I struggle a lot to give advice because it can feel really difficult sometimes when there's these forces often greater than just you and I happening around us. But I'm like the biggest advocate at the end of the day for the discipline of doing it anyway and having hope and like of building anyway and caring about the future anyway, because that is ultimately the actual rebellion.